You've been in my community long enough. You probably have heard me talking about shame and my own dance with it. I'll link a blog post that I wrote some years back about that. But it's been a long, slow, awkward dance, and I really haven't liked the music very much in this dance with shame. And it took me so long and late into my life to even realize that it was shame that I was dancing with. And yay, lucky me, I've been doing another deeper dive with it lately, both as a participant on the shame spiral of doom and an observer to it, and also a guide for others to navigate through it. Shame is perhaps the greatest untapped energy source on the planet, and it is a highly renewable energy source at that, for better or for worse. It seems that no matter how deep I go with it in my own healing journey, there's always another underground river to explore. And yeah, all that spelunking is a bit tiring. In a recent exchange with one of my soul sisters, I was able to see, however, just how far I'd come on my own journey to liberation from shame. Shame is one of those excruciatingly uncomfortable things for all of us, and for me too. The last thing I ever want to do was to be with it, to befriend it, to invite my shame to tea, or to listen deeply. Instead, just like you, I'm wired to turn away from pain. Just like touching a hot stove, it's all about self-preservation. But one thing we all know for certain, safety and growth are opposite sides of the coin. I personally feel shame in my body long before I can name it. I get anxious, I get shifty, I can't put my finger on what I'm feeling. I might distract, try to numb out, or avoid it. I dive into my work. I do all my usual go-tos until I can finally process and figure out that disturbance to my equilibrium. I've been reading this book, Energy Rising, by Julia DeGangi. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, my apologies, Julia. She is a super smart neuropsychologist, and she writes about how shame, or even just your fear of shame or humiliation, is at the root of all pain. And I totally agree with her. And I'd also add that you could use words like abandonment, rejection, ridicule, or shunning to that list of words. We humans will go to great lengths to avoid these feels and the situations that cause them. And through my psycho-spiritual lens, however, there's something more terrifying than shame and humiliation. There's something else beneath this root of all pain and dis-ease. That something else is a separation from love, or a fear that we are not lovable as we are. And in fact, it is the fear that we are unlovable, that we are separate from love, that we are separate from source, God, spirit, universe, goddesses, however you like to think of that, nature, all that is. It's that we're separate from all of that, and that is the actual cause of the shameful feelings we feel. Because you see, if we knew, like if you knew it in your bones, that love was what you are, who you are, and that you are intrinsically good and inseparable from good, you and me and no one else would ever feel shame. And so not more than 24 hours after this beautiful text exchange with one of my best friends about accepting shame, understanding that it is a natural byproduct of the way your psyche develops, that everyone has experienced it to some degree, I got dropped right back onto the shame spiral of doom. Something from my there and then got activated in the here and now, and off to the shame race as I went. The difference between now and a decade ago is that I don't try to eradicate shame when I feel it. I don't run and hide from it. I don't make it wrong. It isn't a disease that needs curing. When you can remember that you are love, that you are loved so completely simply because you are here, you can shift your perspective on shame, and then things start to change. And if you're anything like me, you might forget more often than you'd like, which simply means you get another opportunity to grow, to expand into love. Here's some reflection for you to kind of dive into your own relationship with shame. What does shame feel like in your body? Where do you notice it? Does it have a color, a texture, a temperature? Is it words in your head? Do you get antsy and shifty like me when it comes around? Do you want to run and hide from it? What are your unique shame triggers? Everybody has them. And conversely, what does love feel like in your body? I'm not talking about romance or being in love, but what does love, capital L, love, feel like in your body? We all know that shame loves the shadows, those secret corners of your mind. It drives you to isolate. But we also know that shame dissolves in good company, and it stands no chance against acceptance and compassion. The energy that we expend in running from, avoiding, fighting against, and demonizing shame can be liberated. Imagine just for a second, if the sun fought to keep shame in the shadows, we'd have no summer, no veggies in the garden, no flowers, no warmth on our skin. This is the power of love. It is the power to heal shame, not by curing it, but by embracing it so wholly that it can only get integrated into the totality of you.